For Britain to get its house in order. Keep it locked onto SABC. We'll get you more on that story soon. Well, in other news, Nelson Mandela Bay Executive Mayor Mongameli Bobani will today face another motion of no confidence in a council meeting in Port Elizabeth. This is the third motion against Bobani since his party, the UDM, together with the ANC, A.I.C, the United Front, supported by the EFF, ousted former mayor, the DA's Athol Trollip, last year. Now, for more on this story, let me bring in Jayed-Leigh Paulse, who's live for us in Port Elizabeth. Hey, Jayed-Leigh, thank you very much indeed for joining us. Just give us some context, Jayed-Leigh, with regards to this motion of no confidence, possible motion of no confidence.
Well, a very good morning to you, Blaine, and to the viewers. Like you rightfully said, the third motion of no confidence against Mongameli Bobani. And it's very interesting to see who has been bringing this motion, relentlessly. We've seen the Patriotic Alliance, Marlon Daniels, always bringing that motion of no confidence forward, backed with the ACDP's Lance Grootboom and several other parties that are rallying behind them, calling for Mongameli Bobani to step down. And this is the third one. The last motion that was passed by Marlon Daniels, Patriotic Alliance councillor, he said that the reason why he was bringing that motion of no confidence is because the Mayor Bobani was not actually helping the poorer communities in the area. You would know that the PA is at the forefront of all the coloured communities in the northern areas, and they were saying that the budget that was passed did not speak to those people in the northern areas. So he's been really pushing for Bobani to be ousted out of the metro, and citing that he hasn't done anything for the community, the coloured community, and also that he's been involved in several corruption charges, Blade. And if I can just bring that into context as well, 2 days ago on Tuesday, we saw the Hawks sweeping in on the mayor's office as well as his house in KwaMaqaki, speaking to his lawyer Dani House, who was present at the time. He said that Bobani was compliant. He allowed the Hawks to go through his things, but he did not hand his phone over, his cell phone over. And the only reason why he did not do that is because that was not on the warrant, on the warrant. And he said that he would allow them to go through his things, but he would simply not hand his cell phone over. However, his wife's laptop was confiscated during the 4-hour raid, and he had to comply with that. But when the SABC spoke to Bobani yesterday, he chuckled a lot, and he said that he's not going to talk about the raid and the reasoning behind it, but he said that he was an innocent man, and right now his priorities are going to be looking at the elections that are coming up. He's going to be fighting for that, but he's not going to be dwelling too much on the politics of the metro and the reasoning behind the Hawks swooping in. We then subsequently saw reports that he was involved in 25 million rand waste management tender with several others. Blaine, as you can see right now, Natasha's just showing you that some of the councillors have already started arriving at the Wolf Board, for that council meeting at 12 o'clock, 10 o'clock rather, and it's going to be very interesting to see what exactly takes place. We know that the motion is probably going to be last on the agenda, and there's several other items also on, but it's also going to be interesting to see, with the light of all the corruption charges surrounding the mayor, who exactly is going to support Mongameli Bobani today, Blaine.
With regards to the embattled mayor and these raids that took place, does he believe that it was politically motivated, perhaps?
Indeed, he does. He even went as far as saying that the Hawks should not get involved in the politics of the metro. The journalists that were present during that media briefing with the mayor yesterday asked him several hard questions. Asked him, is there no merit of the raids? I mean, this is the second raid that they've done. They've raided his offices numerous times. You would know that the last raid was around the IPTS scandal, the busing system in the metro, and that was triggered by the former mayor, Athol Trollip, citing that Bobani had irregular tenders, that money was channeled into, his bank account. And then going as far as also the PwC report that was also released, we've seen the DA also at the forefront of that. Then again, former mayor Athol Trollip also saying that Mongameli Bobani was also involved in those irregular tenders. And now this 25 million rand waste management project, where they saw money being channeled from from the mayor's account, rather from an account to the mayor's account and to several others. So there has been a lot of allegations being thrown with Bobani being at the center of this controversy and the center of all these tenders, fraudulent tenders in the metro. So it's going to be very interesting to see how that plays out. And also today with the motion that has been passed by the PA to remove him.
Yeah. You know, one of the allegations, as you mentioned, was that he's been accused of neglecting poorer communities. Have we dug a little deeper in terms of speaking to the communities? It all boils down, I guess, to the voter, the electorate, isn't it? And find out, is there any veracity to these claims that he is indeed, in fact, neglecting them? Have we spoken to communities? What are they saying?
Well, as you know, Nelson Mandela Bay is divided. You've got your certain suburbs and areas who are voting for their particular parties. But when we have spoken to communities on several of our packages that we flighted on the SABC, the sense of the communities in the respective areas, if you go to the northern areas, which is predominantly coloured, they want service delivery, they want water, they want electricity, and they're saying that they simply have not seen the mayor, Mongameli Bobani, reaching out to them and coming to those communities, speaking to them and giving them that support, telling them that they're going to have these, the water and they're going to have electricity. So there has been, isolated communities in the metro who have really said that they want particular parties to speak to them. If you go into Chatty, the same situation, they're calling on the ANC to look into, their problems, the leading party of the government. And then, so it really is blamed. Wherever you go in Nelson Mandela Bay, like I said, they do have the political parties who they believe are fighting for them. The DA then also in some of the coloured communities also calling for the DA to also, rise up to the occasion, bring service delivery, work with the coalition government in the metro and just help the community, because I think at the end of the day, regardless of all the problems that Nelson Mandela Metro faces, the people are at the forefront. The people want the service delivery to be provided for them, and they are the ones that are suffering. So issues of housing, issues of electricity, issues of water, that is the crux of the matter. And they're not really particularly concerned about the issues in council, but they're just calling for those in leadership positions to provide what they need.
Jayed-Leigh, just give us the tick-tock of the day in terms of what time this meeting is likely to get underway.
So I suppose it's going to be a very lengthy day, Blaine. We've seen coalition, the councils going up until the late afternoon. So we are expecting that motion of no confidence vote against the Mayor Mongameli Bobani to be the last on the agenda. There's also several issues with regards to the budget. So I'm sure that will first be looked into. And then also the issue of the PR councillor Nombimba, who we know is, that's going to also be a by-election around him. He is on the run at the moment. So several other issues before we get to the main issue of the day.
Without you keeping a close eye on things, Jayed-Leigh Paulse live for us in P. Thank you as always for your great reporting. Let's get you some news that's making international headlines. Brunei has defended